Hey everybody, welcome to this brand new series I'm doing called The 4 Things That I Did to Become a Better Musician. This series is all about my personal journey and really the 4 main things that I did that helped me to succeed and helped me to grow into the full-time musician that I am today. So without further ado, let's dive in. The first part in this series is about playing songs that you really love and songs that you actually enjoy listening to, because sometimes when we learn songs or maybe we take lessons or something along those lines and we learn things that we don't love or that we're not really stoked on or stuff like that, then learning the music can feel like a chore sometimes, and that's not really what we're after. There's a whole lot of stuff to be said about why learning songs you love is the best and why it's the first thing we're going to talk about today. But right now I have to thank my patrons on Patreon. They're the people who support me and they're the ones who help make these videos come to life. Thank you so much for everybody who's supporting me on there. If you want, head over there, join the journey with me and learn some music. You get access to everything early and it's a blast. Let's dive in. Learning songs that you really love is so important, and it's half the reason that I even picked up the guitar in the first place. Well, you know, I was kind of grateful because my dad listens to a lot of music and he's a huge audiophile. I was exposed to a lot of music as a young kid, and then my sister was getting into a lot of punk rock music, and that's kind of how I assimilated into that world. For me, I ended up playing a lot of punk rock, and it was bands like All Time Low, bands like Yellowcard, bands like Silverstein, and so some heavier stuff as well. For the most part, it was kind of like this 2000s pop punk emo sort of world, and learning those songs is where I flourished and where I started to really gain an affinity for playing the instrument. But the best part is that further on, when, you know, all these other new bands like Neck Deep, The Story So Far, and Knuckle Puck started coming out in, you know, the mid-2010s, I was still doing that, and it wasn't a shift in the practice, it was more of a shift in just the music that you're learning. This practice never really ends. The practice of learning songs that you love, because the songs that you love in a certain time period will not always be the songs that you love in a later time period, and so you should just continuously try to find songs that bring you joy and find songs that relate to you and that you feel are important. And if you can find those songs, I think you're going to progress in your musical journey drastically. For me, the way I did this was I listened to the full record. We used to buy CDs back at the store way back in the 2000s, and I used to learn the entire album front to back. So I would learn the first song, the second song, all the way through. And then what I could do is I could just hit play on the CD player and boom, play along and just go through all the tracks. And that's how I got really good at playing, is you'd pop a record in and you'd play the whole thing along with the CD. That practice for me was huge, because that, alongside like tab forums like Ultimate Guitar and Songster, those resources alongside with just playing along with the record, that was huge. It was so good, and we were able to actually go and find the music that we wanted and bring it back, regardless of whether you found it online or you found it in a physical format, and then we would go and play with it. And it's some of the best stuff that you could ever do. And the reason we got to do that is because we'd go to the shop with our friends and all that stuff, and we would actually try to find the music that really spoke to us and find the new releases from the bands we were following and all that kind of stuff. That's what brought some of the joy to it as well. Not just the songs and the music, because of course the music is great, but finding it alongside your friends and your community, that was really important. Playing songs that you love is probably the number one thing I can think of when it comes to the 4 main things that I did to succeed and to grow my music practice and to become the musician that I am at this current moment, which is in 2023. I found that there's a bunch of things, really. But at the end of the day, these 4 main things we're going to end up talking about throughout this whole series are the things that I think had the biggest effect on me. So stay tuned for the next video, and we're going to talk about the jam. We're going to talk about playing with other people and actually playing in bands and fostering your love of performing and creating music, maybe in your local community or maybe in bigger areas. You never know. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next video, so stay tuned, go check it out when it drops, and I'm really proud of you for wanting to grow your knowledge of music and wanting to learn about it and play the guitar and all these things that we talk about on this channel. So thank you for being a part of the musical community, and don't stop ever. It's a really fun time. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you later.